On the issue of whether Christians should okakarukana nebyensi should participate in our struggles here on earth, my emphasis was on the parable of the talents, because a master gave his people talents. Some used them and others did not. And he praised the ones who had multiplied the talents. So I said, why don't you look at that? Talents, if they are not used, you are letting down what God told you to do. Then, for me, I always, even yesterday, we were opening a factory somewhere, and I was telling these people what God said from the very beginning in the book of Genesis, the fundamental mandate of the human being. Multiply and fill the earth, which the Africans do very well. That one, there's no debate. But then also establish dominion over nature. This is the book of Genesis.
Uganda, you cannot talk about Africa without going back to our narratives and our history with slave trade, slavery, and colonization. These things, if you are not careful, they can easily become a burden that keeps on pulling us backwards, and then the wars and the fights and the internal conflicts that we have had, the famines we have had, the pandemics that we have gone through, the calamities we have gone through, the pictures that have been shown sometimes in the media in the West of African children with the 5 flies on their faces and stuff like that. We must come to a place where we declare those times are over. We need to arise, let them go, and start moving forward to the glory of God. We cannot do that unless we set these things aside. When I say forget, I'm not saying you are going to erase them from your memory. I'm only saying you set them aside. Don't allow them to continue being a burden to you, pulling you down, drawing you back. You cannot do that. Though Nehemiah started from a very, very humble beginning, he had to let it go and talk to the king of his day and say, this is what I'm hearing about my city, about my nation, about my country, about my people. And I want us to arise. Allow me to go back so that I can mobilize them, so that we can arise and we can build our city and our city of Jerusalem one more time.
And how virtues go hand in hand with values. I would like to make an appeal here to you, my Ugandan brothers and sisters. Don't allow other countries outside Africa and certain NGOs and international organizations to dictate to you how you should run your families, schools, and communities. Let me simply quote the words of Pope Francis that he has so often spoken on your behalf, and what should be taught. He says, agendas are increasingly dictated, he speaks here about international relations, by a mindset that rejects the natural foundations of humanity and the cultural roots that constitute the identity of many peoples. As I have stated on other occasions, I consider this a form of ideological colonization. End of the quote of Pope Francis. He calls this the new colonialism. I humbly suggest to all of you, my African friends, my Ugandan friends especially, show moral leadership by staying true to your unique identity and principles. Arise, Uganda. To my European and North American friends, I appeal, as you preach tolerance in the West and beyond, please also be respectful of the life, family, and social values of our African brothers and sisters. Let us not impose, but encounter, as I have had the great privilege to be doing in the 15 years of working with legislators, and many of them African legislators.
Bishop JB, you can see the talent we have, the potential. Your Excellency, this year we invited two speakers and our keynote speaker. Thank you, members. Thank you, members. And because of time, Your Excellency, I'm going to introduce our foreign guests in groups. But we have the